Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am Michelle Mondragon, and I'm here to cover our last glorious Gemini full moon for 2024. So in this moon, it's asking, or my question, what came up for me was, what are you expanding into? What are you expanding into, and what is ready to leave? Obviously, we need to make space. And so I'm going to be covering some of that today, talking about the some other aspects, the Jupiter Saturn square and the retrogrades. So we're going to dive right into it. If this is your first time here, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment for me. I am building this channel. It is new, and I am a practicing astrologer. I am a student astrologer, and I'm using my platform to just gain confidence and share my journey and to um, just share my passion and enthusiasm and love for astrology. And so, yeah, that's what we're doing here. That's what's up at this channel. And I do have another channel that covers divination, tarot, I Ching, and that's at Miss Be Ecstatic. And all the details for both channels will be left below in the description box. Cool. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to share my screen. All right, and annotate. I'm going to be using my arrows today. Do I have arrows? Okay, we'll do. I like my orange color. Yeah, we're gonna do some arrow lovin's. Okay, so what do I want to start with? So what are we expanding into? The first thing that really stands out for me is this fire trine happening that is including the nodes, Mercury retrograde, the get back to the and so Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde, the nodes, the node, the north node. That hence the expansion. What are we expanding into? The north node is about to finish up its transit through Aries. Aries are all about the I am. So, what area is this happening in your chart? And how are you experiencing this fire? Some of the ways that you might be encountering this is through um, the mind and the heart connection. And the reason I say that here is because Mars in the house of the heart, Leo, is tapping into, I mean, well, first of all, Mars is action, enthusiasm, passion, and courage, or, just action oriented. And it's about motion, energy, and it's slowed. And it's going to be slowing down for quite some time, but it is retrograde currently in Leo and going back to the house of Cancer, which is, more representative of the rulers, the moon. So we're still talking about emotions here. So there's some questions that are being brought to the surface about, you know, what are we passionate about? What areas of life are we maybe not getting enough excitement or joy from? And again, like, how can we expand into that more and allow our authentic light to shine through? Like when we are joyful and happy and enjoying, like doing things that feel good, um, more of our authentic self comes through and we experience more of it. And it's Mars slowing down here is asking us to reflect on that, and we may be feeling it deeply. And it may be showing up in our world in terms of the Leo house in your chart. And this is just a general reading. So, you would have to have your natal chart and apply it to where it's happening for you. The Mercury retrograde has this quality in Sagittarius of vision, and in the retrograde we're reassessing our vision. There's like this inner dialogue between the heart and the mind, and this expansion that has been coming through because of the I don't know why it does this. One second. The what state? This, yeah, okay. This Jupiter and Mercury relationship has been playing out in mutual reception for some time now. There was an opposition prior to this in the new moon phase of this lunar cycle, and it's still playing out in a mutual reception without the opposition here. But so there's still this expansion of mental activity in the areas of Sagittarius that has to do with far distance lands, gurus, teachers, higher education, foreigners, travel, long distance travel. And it can get, Mercury can kind of get lost in the sauce here because it's broader, it's bigger, it has to do with beliefs, it has to do with ideas and faith. So these larger concepts, these broader strokes that Mercury is a little uncomfortable with, because Mercury wants, facts, practical things to work with tangibly in its local, most immediate environment. And in Sagittarius, it's such a more open, broader expression. So Mercury retrograde here is having us reflect on what visions we have for the future and how we can put that into practical use going forward once Mercury retrograde goes forward. Because in this full moon, it's still retrograde. Now it will go forward within less than 12 hours of this moon. So that's great news. However, what that looks like really is like more like this fire trine uh, and this air vibe with all of the other planetary, the Pluto and Aquarius in Pluto and Venus in Aquarius. There's this air and fire. So air feeds the fire, and there's an expansion, and then it's like a hot air balloon, it's going to rise, but eventually it's got to come down. So in the coming down, in this full moon, we're going to let go of something in the Gemini house in our charts. And the moon is here as well. So there's some emotional attachments, maybe to an old project, maybe to an old vision or idea or concept that we had about our personal life mission. And it could also have to do with relationships, because we do have this interesting, the Chiron. Go back. So we have the fire trine, the big expansive energy. What are we expanding into? The hot air balloon. And what do I want over here? 1 second. I'm just going to change the color here. Well, I guess maybe just white. I don't know. So there is a healing element that I'd like to talk about. This Chiron and the sun. Nope, I don't like that. Let's just go back to the arrow for that one. So just before this full moon, you might have experienced a little bit of like a healing around um, the identity or your idea about yourself or your ideas about something that you've had an attachment to or for. And this energy has been building up into this full moon since the new moon, right? So there's some realization that you might have experienced that you're confronting at this full moon that has perhaps like come to light in a larger way, maybe from the subconscious mind forward to the conscious mind. And it's a healing, supportive energy. And what else did I write about it? So there's just a lot of trines in this chart that are super supportive of um, getting clarity about where or just maybe even just getting a glimpse, because there's still so much that is yet to be revealed going forward. And we're still doing work around letting things go, and especially with this full moon. So, but this little glimmer of the Sun and Chiron trine has kind of helped us to feel a little lighter, maybe uplifted us a little bit, um, with some optimism, like, or relief. And I just wanted to share that piece. And again, these fire trines. So it's a feel good kind of week, honestly. And I know this is Sunday, but coming up to building up to this full moon has been um, supported, really good. So yeah, so all of these, the Mars and the Mercury retrograde feeding into this, North node, expanding into what? And this is kind of our final moments here before the North node goes into Pisces, and the rulership changes and the focus changes and the emphasis of where our evolution takes place changes. So look to your Aries house in your chart and your Gemini house and look at, because those two sextile one another. So there's um, some good supportive, juicy energy there. And, even Jupiter has off and on been, sextiling over to Chiron and helping us to go deeper in our identity and in that Aries house for healing. And so there's still a little bit of opportunity for that here. And in the Gemini full moon emotionally, what do you what's supporting you and what's emotionally um, just not a match, and and there's for me personally, I've had to my ascendant has been not has been my ascendant is at 21 Aries. So I'm hyper aware of this chironic energy in my first house and the way that it's been playing out between my 12th and first house, and all the opportunities that I've been given, um, well, for a couple years now, but more specifically this last year, um, how the universe is conspiring to help me let go of, you know, either relationships, which is on the other side in Libra, and that's where the South Node is currently, um, or like how I see myself. So, or how I identify, or things that I used to identify with that no longer serve me in a healthy way, that might have been like destructive, or just not that just aren't true for me anymore. So, what are you expanding into, Aries? North Node. And South Node is still about, that Libra energy, letting go, relationships. So it could be old relationship dynamics, or um, just setting new boundaries. And yeah. Okay. So what else do I want to talk about here? Yeah. Inner dialogue, mind heart connection, outer world vision is what we're trying to move into. But we really got to get a foundation down to work from moving into the new year, right? And we're just not there. So this is all like purposeful pause is what I like to call retrogrades. There's an internal process happening, but it's not just for your evolutionary soul growth, but also like how that will manifest moving forward in your world, in your reality, in your 3D, in your wheelhouse. Pluto is also trining the South Node. So Pluto has been putting us through karmic lessons in that Capricorn house, and it's finished. And now it's dispensing its energy through Uranus in the Aquarius house. So there's a new vibe to how the South Node, or how Pluto dispenses its karmic um, lessons. And it's connecting with that South Node and sextiling over to the North Node. So there's still more work to be done in the South Node, letting go, Libra house. And Pluto is also at the same time dispensing empowering flow energy over to the North Node. So we're still focusing on that North Node. And with that fire trine, it's just emphasized. So let's see what else. Oh, and then we've also had this what am I on? Okay. This Mars and Venus opposition. I mean, it's not there during this full moon, but we're um, the days leading up to this full moon, actually the day I'm recording, it is in full opposition. So they're looking at one another. Mars and Venus are looking at one another. So again, this has to go back to um, relationships and our relationship to ourself, our wounds, our relationship um, to joy, play, to the heart, wholeheartedness, and our values. Even here with Pluto, there's a lot here. There's a lot. Yeah. And the sun is the dispensing or the ruling planet of Leo. So yeah, the heart wants to expand as well. And so you might be, looking at, you might be feeling like you want to take a trip, or go back to school, or um, maybe your heart is yearning for a road trip, not even a road trip, travel to far off land, or daydreaming, or maybe picking up a new philosophy, or the maybe there's some kind of heart desire that's related to that Sagittarian expansion. Ah, what else? Gosh. Hmm. I think that's a lot. Oh, right. Okay, so I'm going to add this one thing and then we'll just recap a little bit. Bye bye, Fire Trine. The last thing I'm going to highlight here is, let's go back to the line, is this Saturn Jupiter square. So it's not quite there yet. We've had one already, and the second one is culminating here. It'll be exact on December 24th, so just after the um, fall or winter solstice, right? And so there is still this Saturn putting structure or boundaries or more definition around the Piscean dreams. And, Jupiter here is, while it's still retrograde, um, is it's still dispensing its energy in a more internalized way. So and I think this is all kind of really good preparation for the long term, for um, this, for when basically Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. Um, because now Saturn's moving forward. Neptune is now moving forward. They're both moving into, with momentum building into Aries. So it's really beautiful, the design of the divine that happens, this little dance that we hope to understand, attempt to understand, the celestial dance that really brings some order and meaning, um, when we step back and really take a good look at it. And so these squares between Jupiter and Saturn, in Gemini and Pisces, are really preparing us to make real our visions, the things that we are expanding into. But Saturn will have standards for it and limitations, and we'll want to be sure that it is something that we want to commit to over time. And, so Jupiter's helping us to wonder and to dream and to um, discover, and but it's being checked by Saturn. And in this full moon, the moon is there, so we're highlighting the emotional aspects of this and coming to some kind of truth. And um, all right, so let's just break it down. Take a pause, take a sip, take a breath. All right. So to conclude here, I don't know I don't have a smart pen. Highlighter? Sure. So to conclude, I'll start with or I'll end with how I started. What are you expanding into? Fire trine, e fire trine North Node Chiron. What are you healing? What are you ready to let go of in this full moon? Look to your Gemini house. What does your heart desire? What's missing? What's missing that excites you, that fills your heart with joy? What big ideas, visions, and projects, or even trips or studies, have you recently thought of that you might want to move forward with? Once Mercury goes direct, Mars goes, well, Mars is going to be retrograde for a while. So these are all things. So there may not be as much action out in the world. It's really going to continue to be an inside job. But maybe there's some things that um, maybe you are done with a program and you're actually letting go of a educational program and you're moving on to a different kind of study. Um, what relationships are supportive? What new boundaries do you need to set? Yeah. Mars Venus opposition. Yeah, so maybe in the last few days building up to this full moon, there's been some conflict, some power struggles, and those could be some good indicators of what kinds of things need to be looked at. But overall, I really like this full moon. It feels juicy. Yeah, and I think I've covered everything that I wanted to, and mm, I hope it was concise enough. There's a lot I'm working on as a student astrologer, and building relationship with building a personal relationship with these planets, and the different kinds of aspects they make, and kind of trusting myself with what I see and what comes through intuitively as well. And sometimes I say a lot, and then my message actually gets convoluted. So I'm working on that. Anyway, yeah, good things that are going to be supporting us moving forward in the new year coming up. And it's still an inside job. It's still going to take time to manifest in the external world. Um, but having a good, solid foundation from the inner work and your inner world is going to make all the difference going forward. So, yeah, that is all I have for you for now. I'm going to stop the share. Oh, wait, I did want to share. Oh, no, well, let me see. Oh, yeah, wait. Mm, ah, can you see it? I think you can see it. right? Well, I don't know. Let me try that again. I don't think you can see. You are sharing screen. Okay. Okay. It looks like you can see. I just wanted to share my little AI Dolly play. And yeah, so this is our Gemini full moon cyberpunk vibe. Now, not all of it could fit in the Canva thumbnail, but I love how there's like some broken chords at the bottom down here, and it's city life, right? It's city life. And that's what Gemini is all, it's local. Gemini is local. And, also with, so the moon's in Gemini and the sun is in um, Sag. And it's so cool how this imagery also captures like the ocean, the expansive. And yeah, I've just been having fun with that and hope you enjoy the shares. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the share now. All right, cool. Well, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next new moon, which I think it's a Capricorn new moon, actually, which will be interesting. Is that right? Mm, I've got notes going all over the place. I think it's Capricorn. Yes, it's a Capricorn new moon, so that'll be at the end of December. So I will do a video on that. And then I wanted to start a Chiron series and a Urania series. So I hope you're subscribed. If you're not, please do. More is coming up. And I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for supporting with your likes, subscribes, and comment below. What's coming up for you in this Gemini full moon? What are you letting go of? And what are you expanding into? All right, peace. We'll see you in the next one.